Welcome to the Belmont Journal News Now with your local Belmont news. I'm Mike Crowley, your host. Today we're joined by Franklin Tucker, who is the editor of the Belmontonian, which you can find online at belmontonian.com. So welcome back, Franklin, and I hope you're doing well.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, so do you have some updates for us on how the town election is going to unfold?
Yes, there's going to be a greater. Well, the town clerk is following the proposals by the Secretary of State and allowing greater use of absentee ballots by mail. This is, of course, a response to COVID-19 and people being very leery, being in groups, large groups, such as when you come to any polling place, one of the 8 polling places during any election, you'll always find a group of people, and especially early in the day and during the last part of the hours where there's a large group of people waiting in line. What we saw in Wisconsin in their primary is that 7 people have been affected by the COVID-19.
So people that went to vote in Wisconsin became infected.
That's right. So everybody's kind of leery about doing that. So the state is now allowing a greater use of mail-in absentee ballots. You do have to request it, but there isn't a requirement now that you have to be out of town or something like that. So we might see not only town meeting is going to be different, so will town elections. And I think what the town clerk said is that she hopes that many people will take the opportunity to do this, and I think there might be an outreach. So mail-in voting is going to be much more popular in Belmont, and it's going to cause a delay in the outcome, simply because it's you have to if we do have a large amount of mail-in ballots, it will take some time to find out what the results are. But they do it in many states now. Arizona, and the West Coast, they've been doing mail-in elections, and they seem to be working very well. So it's going to be happening in Massachusetts.
So Franklin, will they be opening the polling locations at all? Or
yes, there will. Even let's say that the polls were. Let's say that there has to be at least one open polling station in town. I mean, there has to just be one of them. Even if you do everything by mail, but that's not going to happen. I think there is going to be right now where there are going to be the 8 polling precincts in Belmont. So people shouldn't think that you only can vote by mail. You could do both right now. But just if you feel anxious about voting, or being in crowds until a vaccine is done, this is the way to do it. And the state and Belmont are following that trend.
So let me ask you about something else, Franklin. Some taxpayers during this pandemic-induced downturn may be feeling stressed about paying their tax bills, or may even be having trouble paying their property tax bills. How is the town handling that?
Well, the town is the first thing is that many communities, especially large communities such as Boston, Springfield, and many smaller communities in our area, have decided to allow a delay anywhere between 30 days to 90 days, and I think there's even 120 days from paying your property taxes, your real estate taxes. Belmont is not, after I wrote an article about that and the reasoning, a lot of people were quite. It was a very contentious debate about that. Towns are doing that, like you said. With unemployment shooting up, there's a lot of people who are now finding themselves, wondering if, what they're going to do until they get their jobs back. And one way that a lot of communities are helping or attempting to assist is delaying taxes. Well, the reason in Belmont they're not doing that is because, well, first thing is Belmont has a really high level of compliance. Floyd Carmen, our treasurer, has gone out and and will work with anybody basically if they're having trouble with their taxes. So we have a very large compliance. I mean, people, it's extraordinary. It's like 99%. It's a great number. But the town really needs cash flow, and this is a time where because Belmont is a very lean community. I mean, there's no frivolous expenses, or what many people consider frivolous expenses. They've decided that, look, if you're having problems, go to the treasurer, and he will work out a plan. He'll go the extra mile to help you out.
Has he got the staff, Franklin? Has he got the staff to be able to do individualized work with a significant number of taxpayers?
Yeah, I think he like he said, he'll work with anybody. He's done that. He's very proactive. I don't think that Belmont has a large number of people who would be coming in. I haven't heard that. Maybe that's one of the other reasons why people why the town has decided not to follow other towns by giving a delay. And I think it's correct. I mean, if you think about where the town is trying to save, every single dollar it can by doing expense freezes and hiring freezes, or attempting to do hiring freezes, and it's going to be important to have that cash flow, as much money as they can, because we're going to try to balance the fiscal 21 budget. Basically it's by hook and by crook. So,
okay. Well, so that's a nice segue to the next thing I wanted to ask you about, and that's, how are things shaping up on the town budget?
Well, it's the best thing I can say about the budget right now is that there's a plan. We can see what it looks like when you don't have a plan for big things. You just need to look at the federal government in terms of the COVID-19 crisis. I mean, there's really, no, truthfully, there's that's the greatest complaint a lot of people have about just not having a coherent plan, or a plan that you can follow. You look at the states; they have a plan. They know what they want to do. Federal government doesn't have a plan. You can see the chaos that's caused. Belmont has a plan. You can just see when you see Patrice Garvin, our town administrator. She's going to, when she presents to town meeting, she's going to have a detailed plan, and she's doing that right now. And you can see when she's going before the warrant committee, school committee, before the board, before the select board, she's already, you can see what she's going to do, and she's already doing that. Hiring freeze, expense freezes. It's something that she wants to do, and she's already having an idea of not only going through this year, the next 2.5 months, properly financially stable, but she's also looking at fiscal 21. She's already has a plan for that, and I think a lot of that is going to be dependent on how much free cash she's going to be putting in to the budget for next year, because we are going to get a big hit. So the hit next year, she's already expecting revenue to wane between $2.8 and $4.6 million. So it looks like she'll be, it looks like she's got not a handle on it, but she has an idea of what she's going to do. So the plan is already set. 21 is going to fiscal 21 until June 21, basically. It looks like she has an idea of how she's going to handle it. But she's already said that it's fiscal 22 that's scaring her. She says that's going to be she's described that year as already a juggernaut, and she's already looking forward. She's looking forward to fiscal 22 as the year that's going to be really, really tough.
All right, so we'll be putting on a lot of bake sales or something.
Oh, thank God! I love them.
Well, thank you so much, Franklin, and you stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.